Almost 2 years ago, after being asked a couple of times about the lures that I'm using for the ZANDER, I made a video where I presented all the lures that I've been using in that moment for the ZANDER, hard baits and soft baits included. Since then, I've been fishing quite a lot for the ZANDER, much more than I would usually fish for the ZANDER, and I managed to make a list of my favorite lures that I'm using for the ZANDER. First of all, fishing for the ZANDER, in my opinion, splits in two different types of fishing that, again, in my opinion, are completely different one from the other. One, it's during the daytime, and one, it's during the nighttime. In the daytime, I'm fishing at least 80% of time with soft baits, while the other 20% I'm using different hard baits that mainly are some lipless crankbaits that I'm using them very close to the bottom. During the night, in the dark, I think that at least 90% of the time I'm using different hard baits, mainly minnows that are sinking up to 2 meters, maximum 3, that I fish them along the shoreline. The other 10% I'm using different lipless crankbaits or even some soft baits according to the spot and the conditions that I'm dealing with in that moment. But I just won't go into all these details. Perhaps, hopefully, in the future I will make another video about how I fish for the ZANDER, where and why. Back to the lures. Wasn't easy to choose only 5 of them, but in the end some of them really made the difference in certain sessions. I will just present them randomly. It's really impossible for me to make a top. I like them all and I have some really good memories with them. As a side note that I consider it to be very important, the soft bait that I'm using, I use them exclusively in so-called classic way. Just a simple jig head and nothing else. I usually do my best to keep my fishing as simple as possible. The first lure that I'm sure that plenty of the guys that are watching my videos will recognize it, it's this L&K soft bait. It's called Power Kick with 9.5 centimeters of length. I found this lure by mistake in a small shop, and I was just searching for something different from the classic shape of Shad or Minnow. So I said, why not give it a try? I know that there are plenty of other brands that are making the same lure with the same shape, but I haven't tried them, so I will only refer to this one. I have tried this lure in 2 different colors that are these 2 from here, with weights from 10 grams up to perhaps 30 grams or something like this, if I remember well. And it worked great with all of them. I can't say that I have any real complaints about this lure. Perhaps would have been nice if the tail would have started moving at some slower speeds, but it's okay like this. I used it especially at the edge of main currents, areas where the water swirl or it's almost still. Even if the tail, as you can see, it's quite big and it's having all these rings on its body, personally I see it as a quite discreet lure that, however, doesn't pass by unnoticed without being too much. Generally, I used it in all types of waters, from the clear ones up to really murky waters, and it worked okay in all those conditions. So yeah, I have cut plenty of big zanders with it, and I would really recommend this lure to everybody who wants to try to catch some zander. The next lure that it's on my favorites list, it's this Savage Gear Cannibal Shad 10 centimeters long. I only tried this color here, that it's a classic Fire Tiger, and I'm not very sure what to say about this lure. It's really an excellent lure and can be fished in every possible conditions that you can find on the water. I fished it from 15 grams up to 30, perhaps even more, and this lure it's really amazing. For some reason I prefer to use it in murky waters when the visibility is quite low, insisting with it especially in calmer waters along the shoreline or in different areas very close to the bank. I find it to be quite an aggressive lure, that this is the main reason why I prefer to use it in those conditions. Not very sure what else to say about this lure. I consider it to be an excellent lure, and without any doubt I recommend it to anybody who's hoping to catch some zander. Even though I'm sure that this lure can catch perhaps all kind of predators that I don't have them in my waters. Wasn't easy for me to choose the next lure. There were 3 different lures that I really liked them all, and I wasn't very sure which one is my favorite. All 3 lures are made by Relax, and they are the Relax Kopito 10 centimeters long. There is the Relax Ohio. Usually I'm using the 10 centimeters long, this one it's 12, I don't have any in 10 centimeters because I lost them all. And the last one, it's this small Relax King Shad that it's 8 centimeters long. And I choose this one because this one it's perhaps the most versatile soft bait that I have fished with. As I said, it's only 8 centimeters long, it's having this slim profile, quite a big tail, and it's starting to move at a really slow speed. I prefer this green-yellow color with the glitter inside because it's quite visible and I can fish it in every possible conditions. I also like a lot the bigger one, the 10 centimeters, but this one it's much more discreet, and this little detail can sometimes make the difference. I have used this lure in every possible conditions, from weights starting with 7 grams in some shallow water up to 13 grams, and it just works really great in all those conditions. For some reason, every time that I'm trying to fish some big currents, some deep waters, this is the first lure that I use. And even though I haven't caught the biggest zander with this lure, without any doubt I caught the most of them. I think that if I had to choose just one soft bait to go fishing, this would be that soft bait. I really recommend this lure. For me, worked great, and I will continue using this lure without any doubt. The next lure was really impossible to choose, so that's why I will speak about 2 different lures, but they are very similar, and the only difference, the main difference, is that one is having 7 centimeters long, while the other it's 9 centimeters long. Both of the lures are made by me, and as I said, the smaller one it's 7 centimeters long with 13 perhaps 14 grams, while the bigger one it's 9 centimeters and it's having about 15 grams. The colors, considering that I'm making the lure, I have a bunch of different colors that I'm choosing according to the conditions that I'm fishing with. So I have some natural colors, I have some of these, let's call them crazy colors, that I usually fish in murky waters or when the fish are very, very aggressive. When I'm fishing them for the zander, I usually fish them very, very close to the bottom, almost like fishing a soft bait. I will just let them drop, make a small retrieve and make them vibrate, then drop them again, and on I will just repeat this motion. According to how the fish are feeding, sometimes I retrieve them a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, while when the fish are not feeding that well, I will just go with some really, really small moves, very, very close to the bottom. They are moving something like this, and it looks like sometimes that move can really attract the zander. Usually I'm fishing these lures in spots that I know very, very well while I'm fishing for the zander, to be sure that the chances of losing them are very, very small. I started fishing these lures about a year ago and I have caught some really, really good zander with them. Usually when I'm starting fishing a new spot in a session, these here are the first lures that I use, just to check if there is no active zander in that area, but still having big chances of catching other fish too, like an asp or a catfish. And the last lure that I will be speaking about, it's again a hard bait. I found this one a few years ago, snagged on the bank, and to be honest, I wouldn't have brought it because it just didn't look like a lure that I need for my fishing conditions. But obviously I was completely wrong. This is a MOLIX JUBAR jointed. It's 9 centimeters long, and the color, I have no idea. It's some natural color, but as you can see, it's not looking that good. And this smaller already have seen a lot in his lifetime. And I think that these here are already the third pair of treble hooks that I'm changing on this lure. I can easily say that this here, it's my favorite lure for the zander fishing in the night. Even though lately another lure it's working its way to the top. But this one, for now, this is without any doubt my favorite lure for the zander. As I was saying, it's about 9 centimeters long. I think that it weighs around 10 grams, haven't checked it, and it runs up to 2 meters long. I usually fish this lure along the shoreline in somehow shallow water, and I'm fishing it only and only during the night. I caught my biggest zanders with this lure, and yeah, it's nice. I'm not sure if they are still making this lure, but if you have the possibility to buy it, just buy it, because it's working great for the zander during the night. I could mention another lure that I was saying that it's working its way to the top, and it's this lure. I'm making this lure, and unfortunately for me, I haven't finished them on time the past season. So I think that I fished them for maximum 1 or 2 sessions, not in the best conditions, and still caught at least one zander with them. I don't remember exactly. One of them it's slow floating, while the other one it's slow sinking. I made them especially to fish during the night, and considering that they are slow sinking and slow floating, you can make some really big breaks that sometimes the zander enjoy them. As I said, I haven't caught plenty of zander with them, but I'm sure that in the future they will catch some really good ones. And that's all. These are my favorite 5 lures for the zander from what I have tried. I have tried some other really great lures and caught some nice fish with them, but I just wanted to keep the number at 5 and not more. I'm sure that there are other great lures out there that can catch some good zander, but it's impossible for me to try them all. If you have any recommendation of some lures that worked great for you for the zander, just drop me a message down below and I'll do my best to check them. This being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video, hope that it was somehow helpful to those of you that want to catch the zander. I know how plenty of the fishermen sees the zander, and I really hope that they will understand how important it's to release all of them, to put them back where they belong. So in this way we will have what to fish tomorrow. Thanks all guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, just hit on that like button. Even consider to subscribe if you want to see more of these videos in the future. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.